Beyond the buzzer, inside the game, this is Sports IQ with Larry Smith.
And hello to you once again, Wednesday, September 3rd. This is the Sports IQ. And in case my voice sounds familiar to you, there's probably a reason. My name is Larry Smith. I've come to you for a very long time. Back in 1993, got to CNN Sports, was there for 16 years. Turner Sports, inside the NBA, NBA TV Game Time. GPB Sports in Georgia. I do high school football play-by-play and the championships for football and basketball. Now I'm the WNBA on Ion studio host every Friday night. Our final show of the season, by the way, is this Friday. A little bittersweet that the season's come to an end for us. My producer, Tony Cordero. My career has spanned almost 40 years. His is over 40 years because he's older than me. I remind him all the time that he's older than I am, like a big brother. We go way back again to the CNN days. And we join in with our editor, Josh Ewing, the baby of the group, talented guy out of Dallas, just a baby. He still gets carded at bars, I'm sure. But anyway, we come to you every day, an hour of fun and power every Monday through Friday, and some great guests today. Tony Garcia talking about the Michigan Wolverines, and Colton Sulley talking about Oklahoma, as those two teams clash in Norman, top 25 matchup, 7:30 Eastern time on ABC. We will talk with them. Tony joins us in a couple of minutes. Colton a bit later. Let's get to some headlines right now. Starting in tennis, U.S. Open quarterfinal action last night. Once again, Novak Djokovic has pushed Father Time out of the way, defeating fourth-seeded American Taylor Fritz last night, 6-3, 7-5, 3-6, 6-4 to move on to the semifinals. By the way, Djokovic against Fritz in his career, 11-0. So Djokovic goes on to face now the best player in the world, Carlos Alcaraz, who advanced in straight sets. On the women's side, American Jessica Pegula advancing to the semis with a 6-3, 6-3 win. Second time in her career that she has made a semifinal of a major. She did it last year at the U.S. Open on her way to the finals. She'll face Aryna Sabalenka, who also advanced. You remember it was Sabalenka who beat Pegula in the finals last year. Also, Venus Williams and her Canadian partner, Leylah Fernandez, did not have enough juice in their rackets to continue their spellbinding U.S. Open run. Separated by more than 22 years of age, the duo falling Tuesday to the top-seeded doubles pairing in this year's tournament. They go down 6-1, 6-2. So Venus at 45 years young. Well, what a run, and we look forward to more good tennis from her. Major League Baseball, the American League East remains a very tight affair. All three teams battling at the top of the division. They all won last night. In Houston, Trent Grisham hit his second grand slam in 5 days. Jazz Chisholm Jr. homered twice as the Yankees score a 7-1 win over the Astros. Max Fried went 7 strong innings for his 15th win of the season. Boston won a slugfest with Cleveland 11-7 to keep pace in second place with the Yankees. Red Sox have now won 3 in a row. The division-leading Blue Jays kept their foot on the gas pedal. George Springer went 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in. Bo Bichette added a 3-run homer. The Jays held on for a 12-9 victory over Cincinnati. The Mets use another strong effort from rookie Nolan McLean and the power of Pete Alonso and Juan Soto to outslug the AL Central leading Tigers 12-5. Alonso went deep twice, Soto once to lead the Mets 17-hit attack. McLean has some issues early, but retired the final 14 batters he faced to run his record to 4-0 since being called up. The Mets, by the way, picked up a half game on the Phillies in the NL East. Most bizarre game of the evening has to go to the Rockies and Giants. 2 batters into the game, Rafael Devers hits a 2-run shot off Rocky starter Kyle Freeland, who took exception to Devers standing and admiring his moonshot to right field. The two exchanged words as Devers was headed to first, and before you could say, oh my, the benches had cleared for a brawl. When the dust settled, Freeland and Giants players Matt Chapman and Willie Adams had all been ejected. By the way, the Giants got their 5th win in a row, 7-4. They've now pulled to within 5 games of a wild card spot in the National League. Well, one of the big games over the weekend was Michigan getting the win, and more importantly, the debut of the true freshman Bryce Underwood. We've heard about him since last spring coming in. Tony Garcia joining us once again. He's the Michigan reporter, chases down the Wolverines for the Detroit Free Press. First off, hope you had a great holiday weekend. Let's talk about this kid Underwood. How did things go in his debut?
Was there a quarterback people were watching? What happened here? Yeah, no. Bryce was fantastic. 21 to 31 for 251 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks in the debut. Only 4 true freshman quarterback have ever started a game for Michigan, but he now holds the record for the most passing yards in a debut. And I mean, if you're a Michigan fan, I don't think there's anything else you really could have wanted to see. I mean, if you were getting greedy, you could have wanted to see him do something with his legs. I think they intentionally did not do that. I think they wanted some added wrinkles for Oklahoma. I would expect some RPOs to come up in this next week, not to look ahead too much, but I mean, they're also trying to protect their 10, 12, $15 million investment, depending on who you believe on what the NIL package is. And but Chip Lindsey, the new offensive coordinator, did a fantastic job getting him in a rhythm. He was 6 of his first 7 passes. Then the 8th pass was dropped, hit Fred Moore right in the numbers. But they were all quick throws, one read, not a lot of thought, not a lot of decision. Just right where you're going with the ball. I mean, slants, quick outs, hitches, just really high percentage looks. And then that sort of allowed him and the offense to get into a rhythm. Didn't hurt that Justice Haynes ripped off a 56-yard touchdown to really sort of open things up for him as well. But no, I mean, he's a local product from here, right? So if you saw him at Belleville, you saw that he is an unbelievable talent. But playing with not just against college players, but now with college players, allows that to shine even more. And with no offense to the staff at Belleville, they have good staff, but I mean, it's not a Division I Michigan football coaching staff, right? So now he's completely insulated, top to bottom, everything. There's not a stone unturned, and his talent is undeniable. So it was a fantastic start for Bryce.
Awesome. And it's so rare to see true freshmen, like you said, not only in Michigan, but anywhere. I mean, Raiola a couple of years ago, I guess, or last year, whatever it was, with Nebraska, it didn't happen very often on the Power 4 level. And what a change for Michigan from 2024 when quarterback, the position, that was a real problem. Just could not get consistent play out of that. And so to come out of the box with this kind of performance has got to make the Maize and Blue fans excited.
Yeah, no, I mean, massive problem a season ago. I was looking at some of the.
I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah. Yes. No, it's okay. You guys, I think we're allowed to say it now. It doesn't mean they're bad young men. It just means they were in a little over their head. Starting quarterback of a Big Ten university. So there's no problem there, unless you really want them to do well. But I mean, just last year, I think I was looking back at some of the Pro Football Focus numbers. I think there were 9 of what they qualify as big time throws and 17 turnover worthy plays from the 3 quarterbacks. So if you're, I mean, that doesn't mean there were 17 turnovers, but that picks that were dropped, balls into triple coverage, things that are often end up with the team, with the defense getting the ball going the other way. So a 2-to-1 ratio of should be turnovers to big important throws is not what you wanted. Bryce actually is still 0-0. Nothing qualified as either type for this first game, but again, it was still a little bit of training wheels type situation. I mean, if you want to understand like just how new this all is, so Michigan wanted Bryce leading the team off the bus where they pull up on the east side of the stadium to go up the tunnel. He turned right to go to the visitors' locker room where they sometimes practice instead of left to then go up the tunnel into their locker room. So, I mean, everything is new, right? He had never done this. I asked him like when things sort of slowed down after the game, and he said it was right around like the beginning of the 4th quarter. Coincidentally, that's when they played Mr. Brightside, a pretty well-known phenomenon around Ann Arbor. And so he said like that's when it like he looked around, like soaked in the moment, and then was like, all right, that's like we're good. This is still just football. And so so I mean, couldn't have asked for anything more, like we're saying.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the Oklahoma game. I want to go back a little bit. We have not talked in the past a couple of months here about all the off-field distractions, obviously the quarterback play, NCAA. There's so much happening around this program here in the last 6 months or so. How do you feel the team? It sounds like right now they're ready to go for the season. Like you said, you don't want to give too much away, work some things out, get a good win, and then you've got the tough non-conference game coming up. But how do they handle things there with the program, with all the things happening, try to get him ready for the opener? It feels like these last couple of years, it's been a lot. And I know I'm sure everyone's ready to turn the page.
Yeah, well, keeps me employed. So, I mean, that's okay. But yeah, no, I mean, Michigan is extremely good at insulating itself at whether or not some of these things are self-inflicted. It's not, I guess, victim mentality is not the best, like the kindest phrase, but if you want to put like a more positive, like they can turn it into a chip on their shoulder very quickly. Jim Harbaugh getting suspended to start the 2023 season, then to finish the 2023 season. Sharon Moore was suspended game 1 of 2023. He's going to be suspended the next 2 games. And then he's going to be suspended likely the season opener for 26. So, 4 out of 5 seasons, or 3 out of 4 seasons, excuse me, I should say, the head coach will not have coached every single game at Michigan. So, it is always something that's going on. But we've asked some players, asked some coaches about it, and they just say, one of their phrases for the season is today, not tomorrow. So just worry about where your feet are right now. Even if you did something good, bad in the past, it's over. So you can't hype yourself up about it or linger on it too long. And don't look ahead. Don't worry about what's coming. That day is going to get there when it gets here. But we need everybody focused where your feet are right now in order to maximize this season. And that's something they did very well under Harbaugh. It's something that's continued well under Sharon. And they're just, it's almost like you say, it feels like it's always something because it's always been something for this era. It's really nothing new to these players. They're right. Yeah. They're just, they don't know all that different. It's something here, something there. And they've been told, you worry about playing ball. Let us coaches and staff and administrators will take care of the paperwork and all those sorts of things. So it's business as usual.
Talking with Tony Garcia, the Detroit Free Press here about the Michigan Wolverines. And you're right. Credit to the staff. A lot of changes during that time among the staff as well. But credit to everyone there in the program that they can kind of get that kind of culture there that, look, we just go out and every day do our thing and put that stuff away. And that's a credit to them on the field. And again, looking forward to a better 2025. Getting into this week, coach down on the sidelines. Oklahoma comes in. It's a top 25 matchup. First off, obviously you always want to win. Every game is big, but it feels like with Michigan, with what happened last year, again, the offseason stuff, this game takes on even more meaning because it's a chance to get a big quality win early on that could set the stage for the rest of the season.
Yeah, a win, and they are on the inside lane here going to the college football playoff, right? If you get a ranked win on the road in prime time against an SEC school, that's a lot of checks on the resume box. And you said it, Larry. Of course, you want to win every game. Of course, that's why you play the games. That said, I've just been sort of putting this one in kind of the free square category. I feel like, if you get blown out and look horrible, well, that's not good. But even if you lose a tight game here, of course, nobody inside the walls is talking like this. This is just sort of 30,000 foot view. You can still learn from things. And last year they called them lessons, not losses. They're trying to have fewer lessons this year, I would say. But Bryce Underwood's never started on the road. Michigan has never played a true SEC road game. It is ESPN College Game Day, prime time, ABC. It has all the makings of just a massive, massive environment. So if you can pick it off, that's wonderful. But if you come up just say it's sort of a Notre Dame Miami situation from Sunday night, that was a highly regarded quarterback making his first true road start, lose by a field goal in the final minute. There's plenty of positive that you can still take away. You're not eliminated from the postseason. It's not like a couple years ago, right, where 4 teams make the playoff and it's well, we got to have this or we have to run the table, right? Michigan does not have to win it or then run the table. But if you do, you are really, really looking good to return to the postseason.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the schedule and the schedule gods really taking care of Michigan this year. And we're going to see that in different years. And I know people, listen, when you have 16, 18 team conferences, you're going to have unbalanced schedules. That's just the next part of it. It just is what it is. So you're going to have those years and it's going to fall just right where in Michigan's case, you don't have Oregon, you don't have Penn State, you don't have Illinois, you don't have Indiana. Now there may be some teams that sneak up and play better than what they're projected. But as of right now, to your point, you get through this game on Saturday and you could go on a run here and it could be interesting come November.
No, and certainly they'd have the confidence to do so, right?
Right, right.
But very quickly, there's also the chance, like as favorable as the schedule looks in a lot of ways. Michigan, which always has 7 home games, some years 8. There's only 6 home games this year. They do not have back-to-back home games on the entire slate, so it
Wow.
is home away the whole way through. So
Wow.
and there's a decent amount of travel going to Oklahoma, going to Nebraska, going to Los Angeles to play USC. And really, I look at those next 2 road games, just because even if you do get through Oklahoma, that does not guarantee you anything going to Lincoln in week 4, playing a Nebraska team that we expect will be 3-0 coming in. And you have to do it without Sharon Moore. That will be one of the 2 game suspension that he is serving in weeks 3 and 4 of this season. And then after that, you host Wisconsin, probably think you win that game. There's a bye week in there. Then you got to go all the way to the West Coast. And we know how difficult it is to for these Big Ten teams to travel all the way west. I mean, last year, Michigan kind of got handled by Washington, and it was not a great Washington team. Now, Michigan was sort of sliding down at that time. But I mean, historically, Big Ten teams don't travel well to the West Coast back when they used to be non-conference games. And so, uh, I mean, there's just like it's so interesting because right now Michigan sits 1-0. There's a scenario where they're 5-1, maybe 6-0. There's also a scenario they're 3-3. I mean, this is a massive, massive 5-week stretch. It is the season-defining stretch without question, because after that things really lighten up. Washington at home is no cupcake, and then up the road in East Lansing, things can go awry, but after that, it's like Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland. I mean, those 3 are, you can write those up as wins already right now. They are not losing any of those games.
Absolutely.
And then you finish the year at Ohio State. So I mean, that's how quickly the season goes. Like it's like it feels like it's halfway over, even though we're in week 2. But no, Oklahoma sets the tone for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Want to get your thoughts in terms of defensively, what you saw Saturday. What would you like to see them do differently against the Sooners on Saturday?
Well, I mean, we'd been hearing about it all off season long, but this might be not just the best linebacking core in the Big Ten. I mean, you don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but I don't think it's crazy to say it might be one of the best in the country. Michigan is legitimately 4 deep at linebacker. Ernest Hausman had a phenomenal game. Jayshon Barham, though he did get ejected for a targeting penalty. I mean, that seemed as borderline 50-50. Like I see people saying, of course it wasn't targeting. I see people saying, of course it was. Generally, you can tell what colors these guys are wearing, but like what colors they wear on the weekends. But it was, in any event, I don't think it was malicious, but it was very close to sort of contact to the head of the quarterback. So by the letter of the law, it might need to be called. But if that let's say like if that play is reversed, I mean, Jayshon Barham annihilated a man, then picked it up like Bane and just ran 18 yards in for the touchdown. The whole tenor of this game would have been different had that stood. And then Jimmy Rolder, they referred to as a third starter, and then Cole Sullivan has sort of been the guy they've called the riser. He had a sack, he had a pick, and that's their 4th linebacker. And so he's really been something. What I would like to see Michigan be able to do differently is get pressure with 4. There was not a ton of pressure when they were just lining up with 4 down linemen, and I think that's sort of where you see how much Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant in the interior of the line helped last year.
Mm-hmm.
Lines, everybody had to pay special attention to them. One of those 2 is getting double teamed every play.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's giving other people one-on-one matchups. Now you can sort of slide those protections out to the edges. TJ Guy and Derek Moore, make one of them beat a double team. And then some of these less proven defensive tackles. I mean, they got a lot of good ones. Rayshawn Benny's very good. Trey Williams is good. Damon Payne is good. Trey Pierce is coming along. But they're not Mason Graham or Kenneth Grant by any means. And so I'd like to see them get a little more pressure just without blitzing, without having to dial up any Wink Martindale specials, because Michigan is going to need its back 7 to be a back 7. I mean, Oklahoma, John Mateer I think he just broke like Baker Mayfield's record for passing yards in an Oklahoma debut, 392, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He's the real deal. And if you're sending blitzes, he will just get it out to his hot receiver. And wherever they come from, that's where you go with the ball. That's like sort of beat the blitz 101 right there. And so you can't just send pressure and expect to beat them. So they're going to have to win with the front.
Yeah, well said. No question. Like you said, and they did, we know there are more cards up their sleeve. They didn't show everything here on week 1. We'll see what they roll out here in week 2. Tony, we know you are super busy. We appreciate you squeezing in some time for us. Have a great week. Safe travels this week. We look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Yeah, no problem. Always good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks. Great to see you as well. Tony Garcia, once again, he's the Michigan beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. Be sure to give him a follow on all social media, but it is Michigan on Oklahoma. Big top 25 matchup on ABC, 7:30 Eastern time. There's the kick there in Norman. We appreciate again Tony's time. Okay, it's more Sports IQ after this.
Hey, airline travelers, let's say you have a problem and you need to change or cancel an existing airline reservation. What do? Well, Skywatch is a free service that can help anyone with any airline reservation fix it. Whether you want to cancel it, change your dates, or add passengers, we can help fix your airline reservations so you get exactly what you need. We've updated our computer database and now have access to every airline around the globe. So now you can make one phone call regardless of who booked your airline tickets, and we'll change it, cancel it, and fix it for you. We know the insider secrets to fixing reservations that the airlines don't want you to know about. So if you need to cancel, change, or modify an existing airline reservation, call Skywatch right now. It's a free call, so let us fix it for you. 800-413-7158. 800-413-7158. 800-413-7158. That's 800-413-7158.
You're listening to Sports IQ with Larry Smith.
I don't know about you guys, but every once in a while I pull up like music videos and Spotify and listen to a little music, whatever, and happen to have some videos on it at work in the background. And Hips Don't Lie by Shakira came on. Had to stop and watch that one at work. Yeah, they don't mind for 3 minutes. By the way, 1.6 billion views of that video. I wonder why. All right, most college football press conferences as we continue on can be pretty dull. Lots of injury updates, recaps of the week before and all that. But a Dion Sanders press conference is generally a little different. Last week, his Buffs lost their home opener to Georgia Tech at a close game, and some felt the Buffaloes did not manage the clock well at the end of the contest. Well, let's pick up Dion's presser at this point.
Hey, Coach, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. Just similar to what Pat was asking, obviously Shador's one of his specialties was the 2-minute drill during his time here. You guys thrived during that situation. What did you learn about the end of game situation from the offensive standpoint about what you guys can improve there going forward?
Okay, let's just get the cat out of the bag. All right, first down, we throw a lateral pass, right? We lose 4 or 5 yards. Do you call timeout there? No, you're right there. You don't call timeout there. You got to go. So you're running tempo, right? So the next play, you gain, I guess, 14 yards, whatever. Now you got 3rd and 1, right? Do you call timeout there? 3rd and 1. You get the first down, the clock stops, correct? So you get the first down, the clock stopped. Okay, he scrambled play. He ran out of bounds, the clock stopped, right? Now we throw the ball out the end zone, clock stopped, right? So when was the time to call timeout?
I was just asking about this.
I'm just getting the elephant out the room. Garner, you know what you want to say. I'm just trying to help you help me.
I wasn't asking more about the timeout. It's more just about like the capabilities of the offense and kind of how you guys can use this group better in those kind of situations.
Well, everything has its purpose, man. Sometimes it just don't go like it's supposed to go. We pray to God it goes well. This week we're trying to fix what was broken last week, and we're on to this week. We're not there last week. We're past that. I was there a few days ago, but I'm gone now. I'm into this week now.
Okay. Dion and the Colorado Buffaloes moving on, and will face Delaware this week. Dion in the press conference did promise that we will see highly touted freshman Julian Lewis get his first game action in a Buffs uniform. So again, never a dull moment with Dion. In the WNBA last night, Timmy Fanglini scored 16 points. Golden State beating New York 66-58 as they get their 4th straight win, and they close in on becoming the first expansion team to earn a playoff berth in an inaugural season. The Valkyries dropped their magic number to clinch a top 8 playoff spot to 2 with any combination of victories by Golden State and losses for the LA Sparks. By the way, LA takes on the Dream in Atlanta tonight. In Phoenix, Alyssa Thomas, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, that close to another triple-double. DeWanna Bonner added 19 points off the bench. The Mercury won their 5th straight game, 85-79 over Indiana. The Mercury made it a 3-way tie for second place in the standings with the win. Phoenix, Atlanta, and Las Vegas all tied at 26-14 with 4 games to play. Kelsey Mitchell had 29 points to lead the Fever, who played without star Caitlin Clark for the 19th straight game. Sad note to report this on this Wednesday. College basketball Hall of Fame coach George Raveling passed away Tuesday at the age of 88. Raveling, who was head coach at Washington State, Iowa, and USC, earned induction into the Hall back in 2013. But George Raveling was more than a basketball coach. He was an assistant on the 1984 Olympic team. It was Raveling who talked a young Michael Jordan into speaking with the legendary Sonny Vaccaro about being a spokesperson for Nike. Jordan said in a 2015 interview that while Vaccaro got the credit for him signing with Nike, it was really his friendship and respect he had for Raveling that got him on board. By the way, that was not all that Raveling did. In 1963, George Raveling was a member of Dr. Martin Luther King's security detail for the I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. Raveling realized the historical significance of the speech in that day and asked King for the typewritten copy he used during the speech. Thanks to Raveling, that speech is on display at the National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. George Raveling, a life well lived, good and faithful servant. George Raveling was 88.
Fans of big sports radio and sports spectacular podcasts have a new home on the Chief Sports Network. Find your favorite programs and content all in one place by downloading the Chief Sports app in your mobile device. Created in South Carolina, the Chief Sports Network is the home of an expanding network of live and podcast format programming. It is also the home of one of the leading national college football podcasts, JC and Morgan, hosted by ESPN's Mike Morgan and 24/7 Sports' JC Sherbert. Download the Chief Sports app for free and find all of your favorite programming under one easy umbrella. Thanks to all of our markets for your loyal support of Big Sports Radio and our Sports Spectacular podcast, and we look forward to connecting with you anywhere in the world on the Chief Sports app.
Hey, loser. Leave me alone.
When a child shares hurtful comments online, that's bullying. Visit erasebullying.ca to learn how to help your child stand up to cyberbullying.
Are you tired of your website making your business look bad? Is your current web developer dropping the ball? Let's face it, if your website isn't making you money, it's broken. Let Neon Rain create a website that turns your visitors into customers. Neon Rain has worked with hundreds of businesses across North America, building custom websites and applications with modern designs that are easy to update and work well on mobile devices. They can do it for you too. What sets Neon Rain apart? They actually deliver on their promises. Call today for a free consultation. 303-957-3092. That's Neon Rain at 303-957-3092. Or visit them at neonrain.com.
You're locked in to Sports IQ with Larry Smith.
Once again, college football, big top 25 matchup. You know, we don't have as many marquee games this week as last week, which really makes this game stand out. Number 15, Michigan at 18th ranked Oklahoma. And joining us now, OU beat writer Colton Sulley. Colton, welcome to the Sports IQ.
Hey, thanks for having me. Anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk first about this Oklahoma team. 1 year into the SEC, what did we learn in Norman about this program 1 year after the big conference switch?
Yeah, well, I think the main thing we learned is that the SEC is not the Big 12, obviously. Tougher games week in and week out. But obviously last year, things didn't go as planned with the offense and the quarterback. I think they got those two things wrong. Obviously had a coordinator switch mid-season. But after, 1 week and an off season, it looks like they figured that part out. There's still a lot of questions with this team, but John Mateer can clearly throw the ball, and they'll clearly have a passing game this year, which is a little bit different than last year, but still some questions, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah. It really kind of hit the transfer portal with some big splash moves in the spring. How do they come out and perform in week one?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, John Mateer was set the passing yards record for an OU debut, passing Baker Mayfield. So he definitely looked the part. There's some pieces on defense, namely Kendall Daniels, who was the Oklahoma State transfer, looked really good, as well as some other pieces. Receiver Keontez Lewis had 2 touchdowns from Southern Illinois coming in. But the big question that's sort of extended into this week is running back Jaden Ott's availability, the Cal transfer who was obviously a star running back a couple of years ago before getting hurt. One of the best running backs in the country. Only took 1 carry last week. He had a little bit of a shoulder injury, but talking to Brent Venables yesterday, it seems like we're going to see a lot more of him this week.
Okay. Yeah, that was another big question, too, and that he was a big splash coming over from the Golden Bears there last spring. So you bring in now this Michigan team, and, of course, all the buzz is around the true freshman, Bryce Underwood, who had a very nice debut for them. And I know Coach Venables had high praise for him in his weekly news conference.
Yeah, compared him to a guy he knows very well and coached in Trevor Lawrence. I think he compared this week's upcoming game to that 2018 game where Trevor went on the road to Texas A&M and Clemson won by 2 there. But this is really the story of the game to me, this chess match between a true freshman making his first road start versus, one of the best defensive minds in the country, Brent Venables. Brent Venables is going to throw the kitchen sink at him with a bunch of disguises and everything. So to me, that's really the thing to watch in this game. Can Bryce Underwood overcome that? Can his supporting cast help him out, make a couple extra plays?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of these that Underwood came in really probably, boy, maybe because it's the NIL era, it feels like there was more hype. I mean, Lawrence was hyped up. I've talked about, I did play-by-play of both his state championship games down in Georgia back when he was a sophomore and junior, and they got upset in the senior year on a Hail Mary play. But at least Trevor had a chance to sit the bench in his first 4 games behind Kelly Bryant, whereas Underwood has been anointed the savior from day one because, one, Michigan's quarterback play was putrid in 2024, as we just heard a little bit ago when talking to Tony Garcia. And so now at least they're excited that he was able to make some plays and do some throws and things that they haven't seen in Michigan for a couple of years.
Yeah, he looked really good in that opener. I know it was against New Mexico, but clearly has zip on the ball. He's a big guy. I didn't realize how big he was at 6'4" until I saw him throw that block for the Justice Haynes touchdown. But I think Coach Venables was saying it yesterday. He impresses a lot of people, and I know that there's limited tape on him, having only played 1 college game. So I think that's another factor. How does OU prepare for a guy that's super talented? Everybody knows he was the number 1 guy coming out of high school, but there's obviously very limited college tape on him. But there's a lot of respect from the Oklahoma side when it comes to Bryce Underwood for sure.
Yeah. And how big is this game for Oklahoma to come out and we saw last week in terms of the where teams went in the rankings, although again, it's early, so rankings don't mean as much, but in terms of setting the stage for the season, what does this mean for Oklahoma to go out and get a win and play well?
Yeah, Larry, I'm not even going to hold back. This is probably the biggest game of Brent Venables' career thus far as a head coach. Just for the reasons you said, to sort of get some momentum after how poorly last year went, to show people that this Oklahoma team can perform at the highest level, the biggest game of the week in front of a national audience. College game day is going to be in town. So from that perspective, from a recruiting perspective, just a momentum, you look at Oklahoma's schedule. After a couple of these games here, there's not an easy week. Auburn comes to town in 2 weeks. You obviously have the SEC gauntlet. So this is huge, just coming off of the struggles from last year. And if you get a win here, you're feeling pretty good about where this thing could potentially be heading.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I think, like you said, it's the SEC now. Take nothing away from the Big 12, but it is different, right? It's, and they even say, it's what is it? It means more, and that's the slogan there of the SEC. I think that's the thing that, like you said, you've got to come through and I think and make a statement. If you want to, you've got your Big 12 rival Texas. It's getting the respect of what they did last year in year one. And if you're Oklahoma, you don't want to fall behind your cousin down there to the south.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of people had Brent Venables in there for them to sort of get even a little bit.
Yeah, I want to kind of talk a little bit about. We talked to a lot of the different insiders and experts around the country about NIL and house and all of that. How are things set up there? Every school, every athletic department does things differently. Every program does it differently. How are things?
I'm not sure anything's changed from this July 1, but OU's done a lot the last couple of years. Obviously, hiring Jim Nagy, bringing him in from the Senior Bowl to be OU's GM, and I believe, at least I haven't quite seen anywhere else in the country has this type of setup that OU has going on. I mean, Jim Nagy is a true pro style GM, above the head coach on some of these decisions. Has built out a front office of, I think, 6 to 7 members so far, and it's expanding. So that's a big thing. But also, Oklahoma, got to remember, is in a bit of a search for a new athletic director. Joe Castiglione, longtime AD, announced his plans to retire. I know that President Joseph Harris Jr. of OU and Randall Stevenson, the former AT&T CEO, have already started to begin that search, researching candidates and talking to people. So there's going to be a lot of change coming up, and I know Oklahoma sort of got out of this with the hire of Jim Nagy. So lots of moving parts, as you guys well know, and things change every day. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
It's so interesting to see how this, with everyone we talked to, literally, I mean, I probably asked this question 25 times and gotten 25 different answers. I mean, it is, and the funny thing is, every single school, the one consistent, the one common denominator is that they're all very tight-lipped on NIL funds, what they're doing, who's getting what, and where's it coming from, all that. I'm going to throw it out there. I know the answer already, but I'm sure it's the same there in Norman, that it's the details are not being given to you, the media.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to give you the same answer. It's pretty ambiguous. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned back to football, mentioned the season with Oklahoma. And in terms of, again, Coach Venables coming through and trying to get a win in this, where do you see this season going? Can they get to the 9-10 win mark? Can they be a team that's in contention for the playoff come November?
Yeah, I think this week's going to tell us a lot. I picked them to get 9-3. I think that was a little bit on the optimistic side, but they've got to win games like this. Home game, I think OU's favored. I think a lot of people John they've got to win games like the Auburn game with former quarterback Jackson Arnold coming to town. So if they can pick up some of these key victories, especially at home, I think they're well on their way to a 7, 8, 9 win season. And with as big as Brent Venables' buyout is, I think that would be a successful season, especially after last year's pitiful 6-7 record. So I think that they're on the right track. Like I said, offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle, John Mateer looks the part. It's just about, can they get off to the right start? Can they create some momentum going into that Texas game? I mean, if they beat Michigan and they beat Auburn and take care of business against Temple and Kent State, you're looking at 5-0 record going into that Red River rivalry game. And anything can happen in that game. We saw Texas struggle last week. I think OU has the quarterback to compete in that game this year. So if all those things come into place, you're looking at a much better season this year.
Yeah, it is. The schedule, you're right. Breaking it down, once you get past this, like you said, you got a few games. You do get Auburn at home, which is big, but then number 7, Texas, at number 10, South Carolina, home against number 20, Ole Miss, at number 22, Tennessee, at number 21, Alabama. You get Missouri at home, never easy, and then you get number 3, LSU at home. I mean, it is finishing the season with 6 ranked teams in 7 games. To break down further what you were saying is just, it reminds me a bit of, and look, we saw last year with Florida, last couple of years, right? Florida had just a crazy schedule, and yet they found a way. And so at least, if you're an Oklahoma fan and you look at that schedule and say, gee, there's no way we can do this. Hey, Florida did it last year. So there's a blueprint.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of those games you mentioned at South Carolina could be a pretty sneaky one, coming off that OU Texas hangover. But then, like you said, you got tough games at the end, like LSU and Alabama. So, and we know it's a long season, like you said with Florida. I mean, people were ready to fire Billy Napier after a couple games, and then they finished the season, hot with DJ Lagway, looking like they were going to be a great team this year. So anything can happen. It's just about seeing if this team can sort of stay the course, not let a couple losses, because we know they're going to come, right? With that schedule, they're going to lose a couple games. Not letting those losses sort of hinder them the rest of the year.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Well, listen, it is great to talk with you and to get some insight there. While I've got you for a moment, OU basketball with Coach Moser, how are things looking here in the preseason?
Yeah, haven't been able to say this for a while, but there is a little bit of positive momentum around this program. Obviously, breaking through and making March Madness last year for the first time since he's been here. They got a couple key transfers that I think 3 or 4 of them were ranked in a couple top 30 lists. So Nigel Pack being one of those, obviously spent a lot of time at Kansas State and Miami. But there's some positive momentum going around this program of late. And a couple months before the season, anything can change. But I know that they're cautiously optimistic over there right now.
Wait, Nigel Pack still has eligibility left? That guy's like what, 30? Is he really with Oklahoma this year?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I couldn't believe it either.
I lost track of that. Wow. Okay, that may be the most shocking thing you said today. The other stuff I expected. That I did. I got to go back and do. I haven't done my OU basketball homework yet. So, but Nigel Pack's still around. He's like the modern day Jalen Coleman Land. So I think played like 7 years and had like 2 doctorates by the time he finally finished.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be a lot of the reason people tune into OU basketball this year is just to sort of see what he's up to.
Exactly. So looks like he's limping. Well, he's 35. So it's, exactly. So listen, Colton, great to talk with you. Welcome. And hopefully again, you'll join us again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. Winston Colton Sulley talking about, he's the OU beat writer talking about this weekend's game. Huge game for both of these programs. Number 15, Michigan, 18th ranked Oklahoma. It's a 7:30 Eastern time kickoff on ABC. And on the other side, again, Michigan, like we talked about, all the off-field issues, like we talked about earlier with Tony Garcia. Somehow they've managed to stay focused there. And, both of these programs, though, really could use this win on Saturday night to catapult themselves into a positive rest of the season. So we'll be watching 7:30 Eastern time again on ABC. Okay, stay with us. We're going to talk more George Raveling here in just a moment. And a moment of awe, that's a high-speed variety. That's next.
Everything is expensive right now. Gas, food, you name it. You're spending more, you are making the same or less money. So, what do? You rack up credit card debt. That's what you do. It's not your fault. It's the economy. And guess what? If you rack up too much credit card debt like some of us, you can't pay your bills. Then the credit card companies, as nice as they are, start hounding you for money. Then you start your downward spiral. A smart thing for you to do is to call the Zero Debt. They can help you consolidate all your credit card bills into one affordable payment. Millions of people have done it. It works to make you debt-free. Make this free call right now. It costs you nothing to learn more.
800-507-7293. 800-507-7293. 800-507-7293. That's 800-507-7293.
Fans of big sports radio and sports spectacular podcasts have a new home on the Chief Sports Network. Find your favorite programs and content all in one place by downloading the Chief Sports app in your mobile device. Created in South Carolina, the Chief Sports Network is the home of an expanding network of live and podcast format programming. It is also the home of one of the leading national college football podcasts, JC and Morgan, hosted by ESPN's Mike Morgan and 24/7 Sports' JC Sherbert. Download the Chief Sports app for free and find all of your favorite programming under one easy umbrella. Thanks to all of our markets for your loyal support of Big Sports Radio and our Sports Spectacular podcast, and we look forward to connecting with you anywhere in the world on the Chief Sports app.
Welcome back here again. Michigan, Oklahoma. Can't wait for that top 25 matchup. Thanks again to the fellas for joining us on that. To producer Tony, we were talking because George Raveling passing away, and when we were together at CNN Sports, I mean, he was one of the coaches in this. As we mentioned, I mean, he was an assistant on the USA basketball team to Bob Knight, who I would think wouldn't be the easiest guy to work with. And yet that's how much respect that Knight had for Raveling, that he had him as part of his coaching team.
Yeah, George Raveling was just, he doesn't get the notoriety that a lot of people had in the college game, but the man knew basketball so well. Larry, I remember him coming in and being with us at CNNSI one year as like an analyst, either talking about the tournament or something with the tournament as we were heading up. And I remember watching a game with him to cut some highlights and to get some things that he wanted to talk about. And we're watching the game. He goes, "Okay, now watch." He goes, "They haven't done it the last 3 times down. They're going to throw the ball into the post to the big guy, and he's going to turn and shoot a fadeaway J." And sure enough, ball goes into the post. Big guy turns, fadeaway J. He goes, now if I'm the coach, and I think their coach is smart enough, they had no answer for that. It was an easy shot. He goes, they'll do it again the next time down. Team comes down, same exact play. I mean, he just knew basketball, and to listen, and he could hold court with anybody. Somebody that day had asked him about, I had no idea that he had been a member of Dr. King's security detail for the I Have a Dream season. Somebody asked him about that, and he told a story about that day, and he had 5 or 6 or 7 of us, whoever were in the conference room talking basketball. We set basketball aside and just listened to this living piece of history, tell us about that day and that time and what happened. And just such a fun, gentle man. I really enjoyed it. We only had him there for like a day or two that he was at CNNSI, but man, it was one of those memories that you always take with you everywhere. And just a great gentleman, great human being.
Yeah, he was. I remember him being in. I said hi just in passing, but I was not part of that show that year. But you're right. He just was larger than life. Played basketball at Villanova back in the 50s and graduated in 1960. Again, Washington State, Iowa, USC. We mentioned that we teased earlier that we've got Tom Kakert of HawkeyeReport.com coming on tomorrow. So we'll definitely ask if he had any connection to George Raveling. But yeah, passes away at age 88. And I do believe, if I remember the movie Air with Matt Damon about Michael Jordan signing with Nike, that George Raveling was portrayed in there as you mentioned. He was instrumental in getting Michael Jordan to sign with Nike and really changed sports history.
Yeah, changed the course of basketball as we know it. I mean, if you imagine that deal not taking place, I can't. I mean, the whole sports landscape changes if that whole thing doesn't happen. Yeah. The shoe industry is so huge now because of that, and because Raveling had the foresight to talk to Michael Jordan about it.
Yeah, exactly. As I recall, I mean, obviously the big shoe at the time was Converse. We had the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird ads on Converse. I think the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a Converse guy. And shortly before that, Magic Johnson in his 2nd or 3rd season had signed something to the equivalent of like a 25-year, $25 million contract with Converse. And that just seems just ridiculous money, because I'm not sure Magic made $1 million a year with the Lakers. I mean, I don't think he was at that point yet with the team. And I don't think that the league money was there yet, because the league was still struggling in the early 80s. Here comes Michael signing with Nike, and the rest is history. So yeah, it was pretty cool stuff. Want to get quickly at your thoughts. We have a MOA coming up, moment of all coming up. Dion Sanders, you have been watching press conferences for more than 40 years. There are always those people that you say, okay, I gotta stop and watch what this guy says. He's one of them. Like, they could put that thing up live. I'm sure they do, and it would get quite a few views, because there's always something he's going to say.
Yeah, I mean, he's not shy about, and I love the way he just kind of addressed the thing head on. He's like, okay, I know what y'all have been writing about. Dion is very, very intelligent, and he reads all of these guys' stuff before getting to that press conference. So even though the question wasn't directly about that, he knew what the guy was driving at. And he's like, I'm just going to cut this off at the pass. And here it is. Here's what we did. How would we have changed this? I mean, I love that. I mean, you got to give a guy credit who just doesn't sit there and go, well, we're going to play a 4-3 against them. And, the injury update is Joe is out, Pete is out. Some of those press conferences can be pretty mundane. His are entertaining.
Yeah, no question about that. Dion Sanders. And they're playing this weekend against Delaware. Okay, our moment of awe is up next.
How is your car payment treating you? What if I told you you could make a free phone call right now and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Look at your car payment closely. You could be paying as high as 20% interest. Rate Genius can help you reduce your car payments by reducing your interest rate to as low as 2.48% APR. We can refinance most existing car loans or leased cars, new or used, and save you money every month. Put more money back in your pocket. The call is free to find out how low we can lower your car payment. 5 minutes of your time right now could save you hundreds of dollars a year. Call Rate Genius now.
800-425-1161. 800-425-1161. 800-425-1161. That's 800-425-1161.
Not all applicants qualify for a loan or rate savings. Actual offer terms, including APR, are determined at the time of your application based on creditworthiness, value of the vehicle, loan term, and other factors.
Time now for a moment of awe, and it goes out to the Dodgers slugger and pitcher Shohei Ohtani, making history Tuesday in Pittsburgh. He hit a solo home run in the third inning. That's his 100th home run as a Dodger, but it left the park at 120 miles per hour. It's the hardest hit ball for the Dodgers in the StatCast era. It's according to YahooSports.com, and one of the hardest hit homers in recorded Major League Baseball history. So Shohei Ohtani just continues to just impress. We are in awe. Truly a moment of awe. Thanks to Tony Garcia. Thanks to Colton Sulley as well. Thanks to you for being with us here on the Sports IQ. We'll do it again tomorrow on Thursday. Make it a great day. We'll see you then.
Thanks for listening to Sports IQ with Larry Smith, Monday through Friday. Continue the conversation at Sports IQ LS. We'll see you next time.